Hey there, Nico here from Zambia Flora. We're out for another bushwalk in that dry Miombo Woodland. As you can see behind me, it is quite dry. The trees have mostly lost their leaves. We're not expecting rain for another month, if not month and a half to 2 months. Although some rain has been falling up in the northeastern and northwestern parts of Zambia. But here, it's not going to happen for a while yet, I don't think. But even at this time of year, there are still things that are pushing up and flowering now. So let's go have a look and see what there is. The coral tree is always generally a pretty consistent flower at this time of year, with these bright red flowers that come out well before the leaves do. This is Erythrina obsinica, and it has these lovely bright red flowers, usually on much larger plants, but this one here must be about 2.5 to 3 meters tall, and is still got the energy to put out just a few flowers. But nice at least to be able to have these on my level to actually film and highlight. A very easy tree to grow. Takes a long time if you're growing it from seeds, but it can be grown from truncheons, struck roughly around this time of year, and is very rewarding with these lovely flowers, followed by the pods and the bright red fruits, which unfortunately are poisonous. But then again, I don't recommend anybody trying anything that they don't know. So here we have a little, what looks to be a Plectranthus species. I'm not 100% sure actually which species this is. Usually the one that is up and flowering at this time is a yellow flowered one, Plectranthus esculenta. But this is definitely not that. And then to boot, it has these almost what look like galls on the side, but I don't think they are. I'm not sure what these are. Here we've got Albizia antunesiana in the Fabaceae Mimosidae subfamily. You see the trunk bends down and has this kind of nice interesting shape. But then you've got the typical kind of powder puff flowers here with their bipinnate leaves and numerous leaflets on there, kind of more oblique rather than symmetrical, but putting on a good show. This tree is not all that big, and thankfully because it is bent over like this, I can actually get in a chance to see the flowers. But this will be followed by kind of mid-sized dehiscent fruits in another few months. This is Launia edulis in the Anacardiaceae family. This is a suffratex, dwarf shrub essentially. Most of the woody parts would be below ground, but then they produce these little spikes of flowers. Oh, I just knocked off one of the fruits. Followed by these little fruits, which are edible actually. But you have to be able to gather quite a bit of them to make it worthwhile. But these guys will send up their leaves at least once the rains begin, and actually can be quite a conspicuous component of the woodland understory. Very, very easily distinguished from by their leaves, sorry. But usually the flowers are often kind of missed, but the fruits are also quite conspicuous once they start to ripen. Yeah, and a nice larger specimen of that coral tree, Erythrina obsinica, with another Albizia antunesiana just to the kind of top left of it. You can kind of make out the white flowers. Let's see if I can kind of zoom in. Yeah, just about there you can kind of make them out. But these coral trees can grow quite large. I've got one at the farm that's much bigger than this, but for whatever reason doesn't quite flower as nicely as this one is seeming to. This is the time of year for the cicadas to be singing. I don't know, let me be quiet for a minute and see if we can hear them. I can hear them perfectly well, but I'm not sure if they'll catch up on the mic. So a very conspicuous sound at this time of year in the woodland. So as I mentioned before, the cicadas are now out and singing, but here we have the evidence of them at least being around, with the outer, I guess, molted exoskeleton of one of them that emerged and now has obviously reached its adult size. We got the natural progression of the woodland from living trees to eventually fallen dead trees, and then occasionally what you then also have is other things that are living on the tree that end up on the forest floor as well, and will die off. This is a nice, fairly large clump of Ancelia africana, the leopard orchid. And unfortunately, being on the forest floor, it would just be a matter of time before this guy would essentially rot in the same way that the tree that it is on will rot as well. So I will see about trying to extricate it from the trunk and see if we can't mount it somewhere else so that it can survive for another day. Whew. So that took a little more effort than I had anticipated. It definitely did not want to come off of that fallen trunk, but as you can see, it obviously got itself established where a branch had died, and then kind of created a nice little platform for it to start to grow from. And I've kind of chosen this tree here as hopefully a replacement for it. So we'll get it installed and see how it looks. Well, there it is, in place, hopefully in its new location, and on a tree that hopefully won't be falling anytime soon. Fairly stable. I'm pretty sure it shouldn't blow down. And yeah, you know, hopefully I'll be able to come through and check on it in a little while and see that it is starting to establish once the rains get going. Here we've got Vigna pygmaea, a little tiny member of the Fabaceae family. Literally just, you know, an inch or two off the ground. Easy to miss, although it does have a nice kind of bright pinkish flower. And yeah, it throws up its flowers well before the rains. We'll set their pods, and then as the rains start to begin, we'll put out their leaves. So here we have another Vigna. This is Vigna antonicii. Quite distinct with these kind of twisted petals here. Much bigger than the previous Vigna pygmaea. And again, once the rains come, the stems will start to grow out longer, and these guys are more prostrate on the ground when they start to grow. This is Rothica wildii in the Lamiaceae. Usually a fairly small shrub. Sometimes can get actually quite tall, but then producing these white and kind of pale purple to almost lavender flowers here. Four-sided effectively, as you see. I've actually come across a number of these in the woodland today, but they've all been in seed. So this is nice to finally see one that's actually in flower here. There's quite a good population of the leopard orchid, Ancelia africana, in this woodland here. Most of them, unfortunately, are generally out of my reach. I can't easily get to them. Here's kind of a nice little clump of it, and in flower too. You know, maybe in another few years if this can grow bigger, although it's on a fairly small tree that also looks like it's dying. Actually, it might also be dead, to tell you the truth. But it's at least not on the ground, which is the good thing. So hopefully it won't come tumbling down anytime soon. But yeah, so at least there's the flowers in their glory. although this is a little bit of a washed out kind of burgundy reddish color to the spots on the flowers, and even a washed out yellow, but Here we have Ipomeo vernalis in the Convolvulaceae family, with their usual kind of morning glory-esque flowers, kind of nice white with a darker pink center. This one is usually an erect shrub, although in scenarios where the woodland is burnt, they will flower right at ground level, as you can see this one doing. Just in behind there are buds developing also on the bases of these shoots, but we also have it actually flowering on the stems there as well. A very early flower this time of year through to early rains. I've always wanted to collect the seeds and grow this, but I've never been able to collect seeds yet, so hopefully this will be the year and I can get it established at the farm then as well. This little guy here is Triumpheta wawicii, which used to be in its own family Tiliaceae, but has been now moved into Malvaceae under the subfamily Gruyoidae. These lovely yellow flowers appear very early, and they're followed by kind of inflated seed pods, kind of fuzzy, furry, spiky inflated seed pods a little later, sometimes actually even before the rains have started. They're very prominent in the landscape. But also a very early flower. Usually you'll see this guy shooting up quickly quite after fire has gone through. So that's basically it for today. We're just about at midday. The heat has come on pretty strongly, although the breeze is quite refreshing when it does blow through. It is just about time to leave. I've basically run out of water now, so we're going to do that. But before, I'll give a little bit of a teaser for the next time we're in the woodland here. Here we've got Cetorchus crassifolius that has its flower buds starting to push out. So in our next video we should hopefully get that in flower. But if you've liked this video, please subscribe, hit that thumbs up button down below, and we'll see you next time. Cheers!